this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar for December the 19th, and this one is by Card Making Magic again. So let's have a look. Oh, we've got a stamp set, and these flowers look familiar because we already have a matching embossing folder and some matching dies. I've still got the dies here on a pile. I'm going to dig them out. I'm curious to see now whether the dies are actually the same size as the stamps. That would be fabulous. Or whether these are the same size of the embossing folder, because that could be interesting to stamp on the embossing folder. But yeah, I'll have a look and I'll have a think on how I'm going to use these. I want to create something different to what I did last time. So yeah, I'll be back for you in a few seconds. For me, it'll be a few hours, I think, before I come back to my craft table, because I've got a few things to do in the meantime. But yeah, I'll have a good think about how I'm going to use these stamps. So I'm just showing you where these dies fit, because we've got some multiple flowers and leaves here. So these dies fit on here, the two flowers there on the top, and then this flower here and the two little ones that look like tulips. So all the others don't have a matching die, but obviously can be used as stamps. So I'm just putting that out of the way for a moment. I have decided to create an oval easel card. I've bought myself some new oval dies. Sorry, my camera's not focusing. There we go. Some new oval dies that I would like to use. And for the card base, by the way, I've taken the one smaller down because this is just under 4 by 6 inches, and I know then that will fit in a standard envelope. This one's a wee bit bigger, so that's why I've chosen this one here. This is actually, if you're curious, 3 3/4 wide and just over 5 3/4 high. So, and I have just prepared 3 pieces of paper. I have just randomly cut them before I put them through the die cutting machine, sorry. And I just want to show you this. I like to have pieces that I can easily cut from an A4 sheet. So this is how I cut these. So this one is wide enough for this, and then I can cut these 2 pieces out rather than trying to fit them all next to each other and then find I don't have enough space. So on one of these pieces I have scored at 1/2 inch, and I've folded this because when I cut this out I will overlap the card a little bit like this to just have a little bit of the top frame there, so maybe about this much, you can see. So I don't cut the card all the way through. That is just for the base card, and the top one will be just a normal oval. And I will also get some cardstock out to cut a frame, but I will do this after I've done my stamping. So I have cut my ovals. I will have to cut one more in a moment. I have put 3 of them through the embossing folder that matches the stamp set. One is this one here, and I made sure I opened the flap. I didn't want any embossing on this. I think this would have left a funny pattern across here as well. So that's for the base plate, and this is for the back panel. But for this to fit, I need to cut a slither off here just so that this fits perfectly here. So, and yeah, this one we will just use as a base. Apologies if you find breaks in my editing, is because sometimes I still have to cough and I just switch the camera off. So I need to cut one more oval because I would like to create a frame on the front. And I've chosen a much smaller die here because I want enough of a frame to stamp on. So I will be cutting this as well, just from the same white cardstock. I don't want to introduce any colours here because I want to do that with the stamping. The other thing I've already prepared is I've die cut this rabbit here on the bicycle. I don't know where it's from. If I can find it on Amazon, I might link to it. it might be from China. But when I first cut it, I was struggling with it because it's got a lot of intricate detail. If you ever have that problem, put some packaging underneath. You can even put some silicone underneath, but this obviously that will go in the bin afterwards, so it's worth keeping stuff like that, because that means the die presses this cardstock into this and then automatically goes deeper. And I've also got a fancy tool that I've already packed away, although I normally don't do. I've got this brush and it comes with a mat here. I think it's from it's from Sizzix, and that is great. You just go over the whole bit and all the little bits come out rather than poking them out individually. That's worth getting if you do a lot of die cutting. So just wanted to mention that. So I'm going to cut this panel now, and then we're going to do some stamping on that, and I will chop the bit off there, and then I'll show you how we assemble the easel card. So I've cut my frame here, but I have stuck them back together on the back because I would like this to be a continuous pattern. I'm not quite sure how much I will see of the pattern in the background once this goes over it, but I think it's a nice feature and it gives you an idea what you can do. I will just be stamping in two colours. This is the VersaFine Clair Verdant and this is the VersaFine Clair Warm Breeze. So I'm just going in. I've just chosen 3 stamps. I've chosen the more open flowers, not the smaller ones, and this leaf here. And I've already rubbed them against my skin, but I will also stamp them off and make sure they give a crisp image, which they do. So I've got a scrap paper underneath so that when I come in from the side, I don't stamp on my mat. And as you can see, I'm rotating the stamp a little bit so it doesn't look too even. I think this is enough now. I should have retwisted a bit more, never mind. So the flowers, just thinking whether I need one more bit of foliage, but I think I'll leave it like this. So see, I don't know if the camera picks it up. This one, for example, now the ink is not very crisp, and that's usually because I haven't properly rubbed it. So, and also sometimes it's worth not to apply too much pressure with silicone stamps. So again, I'm just stamping all over, and I don't mind them overlapping the other stamps. She should have pressed a bit harder there. Don't know if I can remedy that or whether that will just ruin it. I'll leave it. So I'm just using the same colour, I think, for this one. Don't mind it being busy. I'll definitely need a bit more foliage afterwards. I think one more there. So I'm just coming in with the green again. I really just want this to look like pattern cardstock. Yeah. So I'm just testing against that. I think what I will do is with a background in the middle, I think I will ink blend over it as well. So I'm just checking whether I've got enough colour on the frame. I think I will just have a tip of green here, coming in from the side, and do the same on the top there. Sorry if my hand's going all over this. Yeah, I think this will be fine. So yeah, I can remove this now. So that's my frame. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I think with this one, I will ink blend over this. So I'm just finding an ink that is suitable for ink blending. The VersaFine Clairs aren't. And yeah, bear with me whilst I get my ink blending brush out as well. So I'm just using my Elements the Blue Atoll. Just picking up the ink, but I'm going into the lid because I don't really want too much ink on this panel. So just with a very light application, going all over this, and you can see how instantly the look of this panel changes. Contemplating now whether I want a different colour on the frame as well. It just all ties it in together. Yeah, I'm happy with this now. So I think I'll find a green to use on the frame. So I'll do this off camera, and then I'll show you how we assemble the easel card. I have used my Lavinia Elements Lime Punch for the green. I thought that was a good match. And I've also just stamped off camera just 2 pieces here with the best wishes from the stamp set. I did it first, I die cut it first and then stamped, but I also stamped it first and then die cut it. Either way, it doesn't quite fit on the oval, but that's the smallest one. The next one was a bit too big for my taste, so I think that's okay. So for the easel card, as I said to you before, we've got, let me just move this all over the way. We've got this bit here. I have to put it this way around. I want the top to be on the top here, and this one I have cut down. I didn't actually have to cut it down that much, but I've left it a little bit longer. So this one will be attached here, and I'm just using my Cosmic Shimmer Quick Grab Glue. No, I'm not. I forgot. I've got my brand new magic glue, which is magic. It's really good. I enjoy that because that instantly works. There's no hassle with waiting for it to unclog and come through. So I'm just placing that over here and just press it down. So, but I did find that because I've embossed this, it's not as rigid as it was before. So what I'm going to do, oh by the way, when you've folded that over, glued it on, just make sure it folds over nicely and is at least almost in the right place. So I decided to cut another panel just to go on the back. But because this obviously is shorter here, I need to cut a slither off here as well, which I can easily mark. So if I align these here, just turn it over, I know how much I can cut away. I can actually do this straight away. So just that little bit here. But also I need to put a score line here at the top that needs to be bendable, and I'm contemplating whether the whole lot would be too thick. So I think I will cut a little bit away here at the top as well. If I say a little bit, the flap will be 1/4, so I'm going to score this here at 1/4, and I'm going to cut 1/4 off the top here. So I've only got one layer here at the top. I quickly do this off camera. When you align this piece on your scoreboard, make sure that this one is straight, so that this is straight. It's easy to wobble that. And I just did the same with this one actually on the scoreboard, rather than measuring it, and now I know how much I need to cut away there. So I'm going to put this on the back, which actually covers this flap as well, which is nice. So just letting the air come on the top of the tube, and then that should be okay. So no glue on the top flap. And again, I'm just checking that this is all in the right place, and then I can press this down and leave it to dry for a moment. So in the meantime, I'm creating the front panel. So what I want to do is I want to pop this rabbit here in the middle. For that, actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to glue the middle down, making sure this is not upside down. So I'm putting the frame on here so I know where to place this. So keeping that in place. I find especially with ovals, they're really tricky to align sometimes. With a circle, obviously, if you've got a continuous pattern, that can be tricky as well because you can easily turn it round. But ovals aren't very forgiving. So I can take this one off then. Now I'm going to place the rabbit down. I'm not too bothered about cutting bits off here because they will be covered by the frame. But for that, I'm going to use my Zig glue pen. Just get that out. So I've got different ones. This one's got a rounded tip. You can also get them with a chisel tip. So, oh, by the way, I popped a piece of washi tape on the back to keep the eye in, and I just painted that black. So this one here, so let me get some scrap paper for underneath. This one allows me to put loads of little dots behind all these areas. And the good thing is the glue will turn tacky, but it won't dry. So you've got enough time to go around and put glue on all these little leaves, because they'll be the ones that will catch in the end. So I quickly do this off camera. I'm not boring you with putting all the glue down, and then I will put this on this panel. So my rabbit is properly adhered, and I've put foam pads on the back of this frame. You obviously could put tape on. I've just run out of it. And I've also put a dot of the glue on the back of the liquid glue, because that gives me a bit of wiggle room if I haven't placed it correctly. For example, now this needs to be the other way around for it to be the pattern I had planned for originally. So once I've got it in place, I can press it down. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I think that looks really cool. I think that you call it a floating frame. It's quite nice. So all I need to do now is to put this on the card. So we've just created the flap here at the top. So I'm just bending that over, and I'm just putting some glue just here on the edge, and then I'm lining this up and press it down on the top. Just spreading it out a little bit. So definitely making sure the ovals match properly. So I'm leaving that to sit for a moment, and in the meantime I'm putting my stopper at the bottom. You could, by the way, use one of those flowers if you wanted to die cut that. That might look quite nice. But I'm just using my best wishes. So I'm putting some glue dots on that as well. These are, I think, are from Craft Stash. They're really nice. They hold nicely. I've been buying too many foam pads that don't really stick. So I'm contemplating whether I want to ink blend over that. I think I'll quickly do this. If you haven't watched me craft before, you will... Oh, shouldn't have done that now. You will be surprised at this, but I do change my mind about things sometimes and make some last minute changes. So just because I notice, it just sometimes does make a difference to have these different touches. So if by ink blending over this in green. You see I haven't even put any more ink on. It just pops a bit nicely on the white background there. So it goes, good question actually, whether that goes on the front or where I pop it. Oh, it's come off. Shouldn't have done that, should have let it to dry. So I think I will just pop it there, and then I need to press this down again and make sure it's properly adhered before I do anything else. Might have to put a bit more glue on as well. You could use some red tape if you wanted to make sure it's adhered properly. So I think I'll leave this to dry. I'll leave this for about 10 minutes and then I'll come back and show you how it sits up. So here's my finished card. So it folds flat, and when the recipient gets it they can unfold it like this. It stands up really, really nicely. And then on the back you've actually got space for sentiment, so it was a doubly good idea that I put that there. So yeah, I think this is really nice, and I might even use it for Easter. Curse me for making Easter cards just before Christmas, but yeah, it's like the chocolate people, the chocolate producers, they've already got the cream eggs out, so why not make an Easter card just before Christmas? If you like this card, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see what I'm creating tomorrow for the Advent calendar, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video.